Good evening in my place of the world. So, today we will run down the numbers for coronavirus as of April 3, 2020. World numbers 1,056,000 cases, of which 55,741 are deaths, while 223,891 have recovered. If we go to the details of the active cases, 95% are reporting with mild condition and only 5% are serious or critical. On the closed cases, we have an 80-20 percentage. 80% of the closed cases are recovery cases, while 20% ended up in deaths. Now, of course, this is the world standards, world graphs, and individual countries have concerns in this, as we will show later on. Now, for the cases, we notice that the cases are still increasing. In fact, if we look at the individual countries that we have been monitoring since the beginning, um, March 25, we have breached for the world the sixth propagation level, and they reached that within 22 days. And it has been only 9 days since March 25, and the milestone is at 1.2 million, and we are already at 1 million, uh, 1 million plus. So we only have 200,000 cases remaining, and surely there's a huge percentage probability that it will be breached again within a couple of days. For the Philippines, we have breached the seventh propagation level. The milestone is at 2,187, and our cases in April 1 was 2,311, and there are only 4 days between the tripling from 729 to 2,187, and now we're at 2,633, about 3,000, I guess, as you'll see later on. And although the rate has mellowed down a bit to 13% a day, still it's just 2 days between the propagation, and we have already increased by 300 or 500 cases already. So we are really in an increasing rate still. For Italy, we have breached the 9 propagation last March 23, 59,000. The next propagation is 177, and we have 115,000 for Italy today, and the rate of increase is at 24%. So there's a problem there. China has already decreased, and it is still not breached the fifth propagation level, still at 81,000 plus. Iran has uh, improved in terms of the propagation level. Their growth rate has dropped, but they have breached the ninth propagation level at 41,000 last March 30, and we have now 50,000 cases in Iran. The next milestone is at 118,000. In the US, it was just 6 days before the seventh propagation level at 33,000. Again, US already breached that at 104,256, and this April 3, we are nearing the ninth propagation, tripling again within a matter of 6 days. So there's a problem with US. Of course, this is due to the heavy testing. We want to know, as they said, we want to know already how many people are sick so that we can cure them. And for Spain, it has been 10 days since the last propagation level. The milestone is at 118,000. We are now at 112,000. Growth rate improved to 25%. Improved meaning it went down. For South Korea, there's no problem there. The growth rate is already down to 13%. United Kingdom, the growth rate is now at 18%. They breached the seventh propagation level last March 30 at 22,000 cases. They are now at 33,000 cases. So there's still a problem with UK. Okay, next will be the top 10 countries on COVID cases, and there's not much news here. USA still on top. Spain, Italy has cornered the second, third spot. Germany also went past China, and China is now only at the fifth spot. France is at 59,000, so is Iran. UK is there, Switzerland and Turkey rounding up the 10th place. The Philippines is at 31st place with 3,018 cases as of now. Okay, so now this is in terms of this slide uh, focuses on the growth rates. So in terms of growth rates, no, of course, the ones that are in put inside the rectangles are the ones with at least beyond 15 days of cases. So like for example, Botswana has 59% growth, but it's just because we're still on the beginning days of their cases. Uh, but we are worried about Turkey, 50%, 24 days already. Mauritius, 39%, 37% for Isle of Man. Uh, some other places here, Panama, 24 days, 36% still. Kazakhstan, Portugal, Uzbekistan, Uruguay, pretty much serious over there because of the growth rate. Philippines, growth rate is still at 13%. Still better than most places. Better than the US at 19, Spain is at 20%, Italy at 20% also. Next slide will be the worst cases in terms of forecast. Why am I presenting this? Because when you look at the forecast, if the forecast here is beyond 100%, which is you can see there are many countries here beyond 100%. This means that if they will not improve and flatten the curve, then in a matter of 30 days, these countries will be overrun. Turkey, number one, of course, Isle of Man, Portugal, Switzerland. So we have to really improve over there. The next slide. The next slide will be a bit of a good news. Oh no, sorry. This is not good news but bad news. Um, this slide looks at the death rate. So we have compared the death rate compared to the ones that are recovered. However, there are countries that have not really tracked those who are recovering. I don't know whether they really don't have recovery. I'm sure they have recoveries, but it's just not reported, or maybe the site getting these reports don't have the exact data. For example, in the Philippines is one of the worst with 72% death. That means if you look at the ratio recovered versus deaths, 52 recovered and the total deaths is already 136. So that's 136 divided by the total of 52 and 136, and you'll come up with about 72%, which is really bad. I mean, no, but I think the problem here is twofold. First is maybe the data for recovery is not reported properly, or second, which is also one of the problems with us Filipinos, is we don't go to the hospitals unless we are really really sick. That is why most of the people that are going to the hospital end up, dead. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so the next slide is a rundown of the best recovery rates, which is good. This is the good slide. So, a good slide. I don't know. The problem here is that we don't know whether these countries are not reporting the deaths, but apparently they don't have deaths. Reunion, Faroe Islands, Bermuda, Gibraltar, Aruba, Malta, Latvia, Djibouti, New Caledonia, French Guyana, Kuwait, Greenland, Saint Barth, Saint Lucia, Georgia, Haiti, Maldives, etc. Vietnam still has no deaths. Somalia, Bhutan, Nepal. New Zealand has only one death compared to the total recovery of 103. That means their death rate is only 0.96, which means that their recovery is about 99.04%, which is good, right? Now, when it comes to the coronavirus in the Philippines, this is the cases. I plotted it logarithmic. This is from their site. You will notice that while the cases seem to still grow, there's a bit of a slowdown, and we hope that we will not reach the 10,000 milestone over here that fast. So we hope that we will flatten the curve, but still, as of now, we have a lot of catching up to do, so to speak. We we must really flatten the curve. We have 3,018 cases, and it's the 49th day here in my laptop. The 49th day of counting, since the day that it was reported first. Now we continue with the model summary parameter estimates for our curve estimation model. If you will notice, still the cubic model is the one that really predicts well our data, and right now we have the cubic model reporting at around 18% growth rate per day still. So if I will put that into perspective, the cubic model is at 98.7% accuracy according to this. The constant is at negative 212.719, negative 212.719. Okay, and I'm trying to calculate what will happen. So the first coefficient is 83.955. This pertains to the level 1 of the variable x, which our variable x here is time. Okay, the next variable is given a negative sign, negative 7.302. Negative 0.702 is pertains to the x squared. So it doesn't matter because this will be squared anyway. So negative 0.7302, and then the last one being 0.184, which means that the growth rate has increased from 11% before to 18% now. And with this kind of a growth rate, the forecast by April 15, or the 61st day, which is only 12 days from now, is 19,502 within 12 days. So that's a bit of a bad news. We really don't want this to worsen as it is now. But still, if you will look at the curve, it's really going up. Notice the curve below. You will notice that it is really exhibiting a cubic model. Um, so we really don't want this to continue like this. So we really have to flatten the curve. So hopefully you've learned something. The forecast is a little bit still grim, and I don't know whether everything will be back to normal by April 15 or nor April 30. I think we have to accumulate more data in order to find out whether the curve is indeed flattening over here. So here's to us. Hopefully we get past this tragedy in our history, not only here but for the whole world. So hopefully we get by this. So I hope everybody is well, and that somehow will be able to make it through. So I don't know whether you believe in the forecast that we presented here. If you did, and you found out that this recording somehow helped you, please smash the like button and subscribe to our channel, and let's see what's going to happen in the next couple of days. Leave comment if you find this helpful, or you want something to be clarified. Thank you very much. Goodbye.